A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. Beijing, as the world watches the US presidential election unfold, analysts predict that the size and scope of China's highly anticipated stimulus plans will hinge significantly on the election's outcome. Investors are awaiting crucial fiscal support details from Beijing, with expectations set for an announcement on Friday following a 5-day meeting of the National People's Congress, China's legislative body. This year's meeting takes on added significance as it occurs just days after the U.S. votes to elect either Republican nominee Donald Trump or Democratic rival Kamala Harris as the next president. Polls are closing Tuesday local time, and the implications of the election results are already being felt in financial markets. According to Ting Liu, chief China economist at Nomura, the fiscal stimulus package could be 10 to 20% larger if Trump wins compared to a Harris victory. Liu cautioned that while the U.S. election outcome will have some impact, most of China's challenges are domestic in nature. Trump has previously threatened to impose tariffs on U.S. imports from China by as much as 60%, with extreme scenarios suggesting increases of up to 200%. Such tariffs would undoubtedly affect China's export-driven economy, which is already grappling with a real estate slump and sluggish consumer demand. In contrast, Harris, currently serving as vice president, has not indicated a significant departure from the Biden administration's policies aimed at restricting China's access to advanced technology. Zhu Bin, chief economist at Nanhua Futures, emphasized that more tariffs would compel China to lean more heavily on domestic demand to stimulate growth. Without question, we can be certain of one thing. If Trump wins the election, China's domestic stimulus will only be larger, not smaller, Zhu stated. He also expressed his belief that Trump has a greater chance of winning, which could increase downward pressure on the Chinese yuan against the US dollar. Political analysts are divided on whether China's relations with the US would improve under Trump or Harris. Li Qinren, leader of quantitative investment at WisdomTree, suggested that a potential President Harris might provide a clearer expectation of forthcoming policies from China's perspective. However, that does not necessarily mean that Beijing will engage in large-scale economic support. Chinese authorities are constrained by the ongoing US-China competition, with a primary focus on upgrading technology across various sectors. Ren noted that as long as this remains the goal, the government's willingness to stimulate the economy will likely be moderate. Interestingly, Ren pointed out that the scale of stimulus measures may be more influenced by the stock market's reaction than the election results themselves. In recent years, volatility in the Chinese stock market has had a more pronounced effect on economic confidence compared to the U.S. market. Chinese stocks had seen a surge in late September but have since tempered their gains. President Xi Jinping recently led a high-level meeting aimed at reinforcing fiscal and monetary policy support and addressing the decline in the real estate sector. While the People's Bank of China has already cut interest rates, the Ministry of Finance has yet to unveil specific details regarding the anticipated fiscal stimulus. Finance Minister Lan Fowen hinted at an increase in the fiscal deficit last month, indicating that any changes would require a formal approval process before being announced. Analyst predictions for additional debt issuance in China vary widely. Reports suggest that the government may consider issuing more than 10 trillion yuan in debt over the coming years. If a specific figure is announced, it is expected to exceed 4 trillion yuan, as that was the amount issued during the 2008 financial crisis. Zhong Liang, chief researcher at the Bank of China, anticipates that the deficit could expand beyond the current target of 3%, which was adjusted to 3.8% late last year. Ren's analysis of various official statements and media reports indicates that expectations for stimulus measures are relatively consistent. Whether the government opts for 10 trillion yuan over several years or 2 trillion yuan in a single year, the average is approximately 2 trillion yuan in annual support. People are focusing on the top-line number, but they are overlooking how local governments are implementing policies that counteract stimulus efforts, Ren noted. She highlighted instances where local authorities have enforced strict tax collection measures that discourage business activity. Despite some central government support, Ren expressed skepticism about how soon local authorities would feel financially secure enough to increase spending. Numerous companies in China have reported receiving notices from local authorities demanding repayment of taxes tied to operations dating back to 1994. Local governments have historically relied on land sales to real estate developers for revenue, but the Finance Ministry has emphasized its commitment to addressing local government debt issues. Analysts suggest that any additional stimulus measures will likely be directed toward banks rather than direct consumer handouts. Consumption-related stimulus may be more closely tied to support for the property sector at this time, according to a recent report from Citi analysts. However, they also indicated that more decisive consumption support could still be a viable option in the face of adverse tariff scenarios. As the U.S. election approaches, market volatility and the potential for significant policy shifts are keeping investors on high alert. The global financial landscape remains uncertain, with all eyes on the election results and their implications for both the U.S. and China. In the meantime, markets are reacting to a positive lead from Wall Street and data indicating fewer job creations in the U.S. than expected, raising hopes for a Federal Reserve interest rate cut in the near future. The dynamics of the upcoming election, including the potential composition of the Senate and House of Representatives, will play a crucial role in shaping economic policies and market reactions in the months to come. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.